Uh, honorable guest of today's honorable guest of today's webinar, respected KM Karthik sir, President All India Private Colleges Employees Union. Today's keynote speaker, Dr. Sachit sir, Coordinator, Coordination Committee Pune. Mr. B.L. Maharana sir, President of Private Educational Institutions Employees Association, Chhattisgarh. Mr. Satish Varathe sir, President, Association of Educational Institutions Employees, Madhya Pradesh, all the core committee members of both Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, and all my dear participants. I, Yugal Kishore Sahu, Treasurer of Private Educational Institution Employees Association, Chhattisgarh, heartily welcome you all of Private Teachers Association Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh in this webinar on service matters of teachers and their fundamental rights. As we all are teachers, we do our work with very dedication. We honest, we are hardworking towards the institutions where we do work. But because of there are so many unawareness, we are so many times exploited because of exploited by the institutions. So the objective of this webinar is to aware service matters like salary, PF, gratuity, medical benefits, joining and termination related issues, etc. So that our teachers and other employees should be aware of their rights and their status. So we will not do too much late. So without wasting the time, I would like to call respected KM Karthik sir. We are very glad to inform that our founder member of this association is with us, Mr. KM Karthik sir. So I would like to call Karthik sir for his welcome speech, President of AIPCU. Karthik sir for welcome speech.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear
Good
me.
morning.
Very good morning. Very good morning to everyone.
It's my request that kindly mute all of you from your side. There are so many voices coming from your side. Or Rohit sir, kindly mute all others.
I welcome all the participants here, and it is a great achievement that today we are able to conduct a very big Zoom meeting with the participants from several states. This is not only from Chhattisgarh, not only from Madhya Pradesh. I am here from Tamil Nadu, and I also welcome Sri Sachin Shinde sir, who is from Maharashtra. The credit goes to the team headed by Mr. B.L. Maharana, and I also encourage and wish all the new members of the forum who had registered themselves and also registered for the Zoom meeting and awaited for this opportunity and joined here for the meeting. So we are suffering for the last 5 years. Say for example, from 2015, we are suffering a lot in the hands of private managements. Now we have to know certain rights that the Constitution of India had given us. And also we have to understand how we are going to approach the problems. And also we will have to know the responsibilities of the governments, the private college managements. First of all, let us start from the pre-independence era. Even before independence, India was under the rule of the British. They had to pay the wages to the workers. During that time, the primary government sector was the railways. So the British government, the parliament came with an idea. So they introduced the Payment of Wages Act 1926. The Payment of Wages Act 1926 is applicable to this day. the act was amended many times, and the recent amendment was in 2017. So this Payment of Wages Act, which was passed in the Parliament by 23rd April 1926, there are certain areas which we have to know in the Payment of Wages Act. This is called the Base Act. Based on this act, other recent acts, state acts are being drafted based on this act. This act, after independence, it is absorbed into the independent India. Similarly, we have the Minimum Wages Act 1948. This act is for fixing the minimum wages. Today, we are talking about 7th Pay Commission, 6th Pay Commission, Niti Aayog. So it was all decided during 1948, and it is called Minimum Wages Act. Even though these acts date to more than 80 years, they are still, these acts are applicable, and based on these acts only, all over the nation, the salaried people, the waged people, the laborers, they are getting the salary. The AICTE is the council which was formed to govern the technical education in all over India. It is formed by one act called AICTE Act. I hope it is by 1978 or 83, but it is the AICTE Act by which the AICTE is acting. The AICTE in turn is the government body which is responsible for fixing the minimum wages under the Minimum Wages Act. So Minimum Wages Act 1948 is the base principal act based on which the government, central government body AICTE fixes the pay scale for the professors and the assistant professors. And we are also we also have to know about the Gratuity Act, the Provident Fund, and other certain acts. But let us now discuss about the Payment of Wages Act. We have to know our working hours, our roles and responsibilities, our scope of work, and what is the work we as teachers should do, and what is the work we as teachers should ignore. Yeah, an important point in the Payment of Wages Act says no wage period shall exceed 1 month. Today, so many of us have pending salaries for more than 1 year, and even it is reaching 2 years. But as per the Payment of Wages Act 1936, even if a person is terminated, the salary should be settled before the expiry of the second working day. Say for a person is terminated today or tomorrow, the 9th of August, his total salary should be clear by the evening of 10th of August. So even after termination, the wage period, it is called the wage period. The wage period is only 1 day. For many workers, the wage period is 7 days. For certain areas, government sector, the wage period is 10 days. But the maximum wage period is 1 month. See, in ancient world, people used to have this concept. You employ a laborer, he is sweating. You employ a very big landlord, employs so many laborers. The laborers are sweating after the work. Before the sweat is stopping, the landlord should pay the remuneration to the laborers. That is the wage period in ancient world. Today, the government of India had fixed it. As per law, as per the Constitution of India, the wage period is 1 month. So anything beyond 1 month, it is illegal. If you have any pending dues beyond 1 month, it is illegal. Similarly, an important concept in the Minimum Wages Act, if you take, what are the wages? Wages is the remuneration received by means of salary including provident fund, travel allowance, dearness allowance, house rent, any special expenditure, or undergraduate. All these are all calculated as wages. So gratuity is applicable. Gratuity is applicable for any person. I will tell about it later. There is some calculation for that. So today we are having the seventh pay scale calculation. Every pay scale will come in the interval of 5 years. So in the Minimum Wages Act, it is mentioned that government should assess the pay scale of the employees every 5 years. It should change the pay scale. It should fix the minimum wages every 5 years. Based on that only, we had the planning commissions and the pay commissions. Now we are getting the pay commission. We are fixed the pay commission as per the 7th pay commission. And AICTE is the body which fixes the minimum wages for all the technical institutions, about 10,000 technical institutions, 3,000 engineering colleges, polytechnics, teacher training institutes, and pharmacy institutes, and MBA and MCA institutes. This is regarding the salary. Then what is about the working hours? Can we work throughout the week? We cannot work throughout the week. So in ancient period, the concept of a week and 1 day rest per week was introduced. If you see in Bible, some stories in Bible says, work 6 days, leave 1 day gap. This is also in every religion. I am not particularly mentioning any religion. So this is regarding management I am telling about. So 1 day rest, that is also mentioned in the Minimum Wages Act with payment. 1 day rest with fixation of wages. Then what about the overtime? Today we are working in the classroom. We are working, maybe you are not so relevant with the problems in other part of the nation, other states. Teaching faculty are doing corridor duty. During the intervals, during the tea breaks, they are allotted to watch a specific corridor so that the students are behaving in a disciplined manner. They are not talking to each other. They are not sitting over there in the corridor and shouting. So this corridor duty is being thrust upon the teachers in some parts of nation. You might be well aware of the admission duty. Today, people who are working in the institutions, they are sent out for bringing the student admissions. In the southern part of the nation, 5 student admissions should be brought by a single faculty. A faculty who is teaching is also entrusted with an work to bring 5 student admissions. Can we do all this work? We are also doing this NBA, NAC accreditation work. Can we do this work? Can we do the work of an accountant? Can we do the work of a clerk? We cannot. As per law, we cannot and we should not. And can we work beyond the stipulated working hours? The stipulated working hours is 8 hours. This will not include the lunch break. See, when I worked in foreign country, there will be a lunch break for 1 hour. During that 1 hour, the people are not allowed to work, or they will not work. They will finish their lunch within 10 minutes, and for the next 50 minutes or 45 minutes, they will just lie down and sleep. If it is in office, they will just lie down on the desk. If it is in the working site, they will lie down in the place comfortable to them. They will not work for the lunch break of 1 hour because they are not paid for the lunch. This is the culture followed in Gulf countries where I work. The same culture we have failed to follow. And what happened today? Since we had shown our gratitude to the employer had exploited us. Today they had entrusted more and more work on us, and today there is no working hours. It is wrong. We should not work for extra hours. And what is the procedure followed in foreign countries when we work for extra hours? When I worked in Gulf countries, for every overtime of 1 hour, a person should be given a remuneration of 1.5 times normal working hours. For example, my 1 hour salary may be 10 United Arab Emirates dirham. I should be given 15 dirhams for an hour worked during overtime. We had failed to ask for the overtime. We had failed to refuse the work which is not normally our own work. And because of all these things, today we are doing the admission work. Today we are doing the accreditation work. Today we are even doing the corridor work. In some places, clerical work, we are doing the clerical work also. These are all not the roles of the teaching faculty. And the important point that you have to know when you join a foreign employment, the first day they will be allotting you roles and responsibilities. Either you will have to write what are all the roles and responsibilities, or they will write, get your signature in the roles and responsibilities. Whatever written in the roles and responsibilities should not be overlapped. If you had written some duties, you cannot do extra duty. You are not entitled, or you are not allowed to interfere in other man's duty. You cannot say that I had completed your one job and you are going to help another person. Even you cannot answer a question which is not in your roles and responsibilities. For example, I am an engineer, somebody is my supervisor. There is some question over me regarding a job. If the job comes under my role, I can answer the question. If the job is not coming under my role, I can just say, please contact my supervisor. It is not my job. It is not my job. We had failed to say these words, and today we are doing every job. It is our irresponsible behavior towards our own self. We have to be responsible for our own self, and if we are not responsible, then one day the situation will come to this worse, that we are not getting proper salary and still we are doing every job. So remember about the overtime, it is 1.5 times. When you work an hour extra to the stipulated 8 hours of work, you have to demand for overtime. Either at least at the, not even at the rate of 1.5 times, at least one time. 1 hour, every hour, extra hour should be paid in the normal rate of the 8 hours. So these are the things which are given in Minimum Wages Act 1948. You can download these minimum wages of Act 1948, Payment of Wages of Act 1936 from the internet, and you can browse detail and know about all the other content in the matter. I am not going to explain each and every point of these laws because it is up to you to read and understand. I am just giving a gist of the matter. So these acts which came before and just after independence, they are still governing the nation. It shows how our founding fathers of this constitution had laid down the foundation stones for this nation. So the acts and laws are very strong enough that we should be getting our wages in time and appropriate wages. But what happened later? Something should have happened later that we are in such situation today. Yes, definitely something had happened. The leaders who came after independence, they are not so sincere to the nation as those who were fighting for the independence. They made new acts. For example, the AICTE Act. The AICTE is responsible for the institutions. The AICTE should debar an institution if it is not paying proper salary to the teachers. But what the AICTE is doing today, the DTE of Madhya Pradesh, the DOTE of Chhattisgarh, every state has DOTE or DTE, Director of Technical Education. What are they doing today? Are they governing the institutions? No. Is the AICTE governing the institution? No. What are they doing? They are governing the teachers, they are governing the students. Why should they govern the students? Why should they govern the teachers? They have to fix minimum qualification for the teachers. They have to ensure the teachers are qualified enough. They have to ensure the syllabus for the students. They have to conduct the examinations, supply the mark sheets for the students. But they are also responsible for the grievances of the teachers and students. And they are about to control the colleges, private ones. Now they had skipped from controlling the colleges. They are not controlling the colleges. Instead, in media and newspapers, you can see they directly come to control the students and the teachers, which is not in the law. The law does not mention that the AICTE should govern the teachers. The AICTE should govern the students.
Very important, yeah.
Hello, sir. Your mic is off. Hello, sir. We are not able to hear you. Your mic is off.
Yes. Thank you. Today, the AICTE had changed their focus from the college management to the individual teachers and students. If somebody makes a complaint towards a management, the AICTE is just getting a reply from the college principal and sending it back to the teacher, which is totally unfair. The AICTE Act is totally unfair. But what the AICTE should be checking today is the salary, because as per the AICTE Act, at the entry level of assistant professor, the salary structure should be rupees 57,700 per month. For assistant professor senior level, it should be 68,900. For associate professor, the minimum salary should be 1,31,400, and for a professor 1,45,000 nearing. This Gazette notification published during 1st March of 2019 is available in the internet. Gazette notification of the AICTE specifying the pay scale and service condition of teachers. This is a mother document for every one of us should be having this document. It specifies the salary structure. It specifies the qualifications for teachers. Most of us do not know where to get this document. This is called the Gazette notification of the AICTE specifying pay scales and service conditions. But even after mentioning the salary structures, we do not have a monitoring mechanism. AICTE failed to monitor, DOTS failed to monitor, universities failed to monitor. And this is where the governments, they are not responsible. They are irresponsible in ensuring the salaries to the teachers. It is not the same leaders who were present during the pre-independence era. Today, we are again being put into slavery. Teachers are now slaves. And the politicians are running the colleges, businessmen are running the colleges. And because of that, the bureaucracy is a slave to them. They are partners to them. Bribery and corruption is running high. and eventually nearly 7 lakhs teachers or teaching faculty under the AICTE, they are suffering. Nearly 60 lakhs teachers and non-teachers working in all over India in private education institutions, they are suffering. 6 million teachers and non-teachers working in private colleges, arts and science colleges, polytechnics, MCA, MBA colleges, teacher training institutes, pharmacy institutes, all over the nation, they are suffering now because of absence of proper regulatory mechanism by the UGC, AICTE, state education departments, DOTS, college education departments, and everything. So this is where the AICTE fails, the UGC fails, the DOTS fails. They have to adhere to the law. See, for example, I tell you how they are exactly
Excuse me,
committing
Karthik
the
sir.
mistake.
Excuse me, Karthik sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we will have to conclude now, sir. We have there is some more speaker, Sachin sir.
Oh, 5 minutes,
So,
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
yeah, please, sir.
Yes,
Please.
yes. So, for example, the AICTE says every technical institute should be accredited by NAC or NBA. Then, as per the Minimum Wages Act, when a person is doing for 2 or more classes of work, that is, as a teacher, you are doing the work of a teacher. As a accreditor, you are doing the work of an auditor or a management representative. You shall be paid for each class of work not less than the minimum rate in force. So if you are doing extra work for NBA, then the AICTE should be fixing extra rate for the teacher. This the AICTE had failed. This the AICTE had failed to do, and this is how we are being exploited. And regarding the gratuity, I tell you, there is a Gratuity Act of 1972, which says every person who is employed for a period of 4 years and 6 months is eligible for a gratuity when he leaves the institution. There is a formula which is a multiple of years and last drawn salary and working and 15 into number of years served and last drawn salary, monthly salary divided by 30, which gives the exact gratuity applicable for you at the end of your service. You can check all these things through the internet itself. There are online calculators also. So same way, we are also eligible for Provident Fund, maternal leaves, and paid holidays, and everything. So this is the first session, and since Sri Sachin Shinde sir is waiting for his deliverance of speech, I wind up here, and I sincerely thank everyone, and I sincerely thank our President of Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, Sri Maharana, and his dedicated team for making these arrangements and making this Zoom meeting a larger success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your very informative experience and knowledge about the service matters and rights of us. You always inspire us, always motivate us, always guide towards the association and help us in any situation when we stuck out. So thank you, Karthik sir, for your most motivational welcome speech. Now, I think this meeting will be stopped in 5 minutes. So if the meeting will be stopped, I request all the participants to rejoin the link rejoin the meeting with the same link. So I think it will be stopped. So what should we do? We should rejoin, then start, or